Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Hades 2, and last time we did our first run with the skull weapon, and it was also by some accounts our most successful run, or very nearly our most successful run. Maybe we just got crazy lucky, or maybe that thing is really good, because it was a ton of fun to use that. Also, for what it's worth, this is the first run we will do in which we just got a new patch. I know, well, with the timing of releasing these videos, you probably would have thought it would have been the previous video, but this is the first one where we got a patch that primarily reworked several of the Arcana cards, both in terms of the cost and the positioning. I already did a little bit of fine-tuning here because we had multiple things that cost 2 grasp, and so in order to maintain this one that only allows us to have at most 2 cards that cost the same amount, I had to dump one of our 2 grasp cost ones, which I think I went for the 20% damage bonus for foes in our cast, which theoretically is nice, but it just doesn't feel like we're doing that quite as consistently as we ought to, and so part of that is just me needing to be a little more deliberate about it, but also the alternatives were getting the extra health and magic, which I think is just really consistent way to make sure we can make some decent progress. And then the other one is this: if we have less than full magic, we get a 40% damage bonus, which is of course more than what we have here, and is something that I feel like, at least as of late, we've been doing more consistently. And in general, I feel like when it comes to Arcana, I personally prefer to prioritize the more defensive stuff rather than the offensive stuff, so that's one of the reasons why sticking with the Titan instead of going with the Furies. Another thing though is that overall we actually did save a little bit of grasp, and so I was able to throw on the Artificer, which is something that we only recently unlocked, and it also went way down in price. This used to be 6 grasp, now it's only 3, so we've yet to try this. But I am curious how useful this will be, having a chance of changing a minor find into a major find. I don't really understand how that works. Is it a guarantee? Is it just some hidden probability? We'll find out. So those are the big changes there, along with, I think, duo boons have gotten some probability changes where they're more likely to show up, and there might have been some additional balance changes there. I don't remember what all the other balance changes were off the top of my head, but in terms of the other stuff, we are looking to get a little bit more crafting resources specifically from Chaos so that we can craft the enchantment, I'm blanking out on the proper term for it, but that allows us to go to the surface without constantly taking damage, and we are not far away from doing that. We planted one of the things that gets us there, but we need one more, and I think we might also need a slight bit more bronze, but that's easy enough to pick up. As for this run, we have the bonus bones on the torches. Before we head out there, I think we'll probably stick with the Silken Sash, although you could actually make a pretty strong case that the Ghost Onion is actually even better early on for the same purpose we're using this, to give us that more defensive consistency that we're looking for, so we get off to a decent start. But I might look to purchase a little bit more of the Moon Dust so that we can upgrade. What was it that I was eyeing? I mean, maybe this, although I feel like it might be good to just try it out a little bit first. Oh, there's one other change, hold on, that we could do. The Lovers. In Guardian encounters, namely boss fights, you take 0 damage from the first one time you are hit, and then if we can upgrade this further, that could be, I would think, pretty effective, because if you just look at this from purely a mathematical standpoint, the amount of damage that bosses hit us for, even with a single hit, is very high, outside of very minor little pokes that some bosses can do. So I think this would pay off to be worth a lot more than the room reward reroll that has been very inconsistent for us. Like, maybe if you upgrade that further, you can start to get a little more value out of it. But I think we dump that in favor of getting this, and I think that could even be worth upgrading at least once. Because that one, I mean, we know what we're getting. It's not like this is something that we're trying to test out because it's uncertain. I think it's much more a matter of just getting the immediate benefit out of it. And we do have a fair bit of bones, so I don't feel too bad about cashing some of them in there for an upgrade. And I think we are waiting to get the Charon shipment, because we get one more Charon card, we can get something pretty good there. Namely, more of this Moon Dust. So let's do this one.
Alright.
Ooh, and then it costs iron for the next upgrade. I think that's a surface resource, because I don't recall seeing that. But, I mean, if you just, again, think of how much value this is worth. I mean, that's potentially like 60, or just in its current form, maybe 60 damage per boss that adds up to, and that's pretty big. So, let's get going with the torches. Don't really have a specific build in mind for this one. We'll see what we start off with here.
Alright.
I was thinking It feels like we've not seen nearly as much Apollo as we have some of the other gods and goddesses for whatever reason.
A little easier to spot with twin torches in hand, though yours don't seem to cast the customary kind of light. Truly, the more I learn of you, the more questions I have.
Okay. Specials, that is generally my favorite type of move with these weapons, so I think we would like to build around the special, although this is just basic rarity, unfortunately. Sprint is faster, causes daze. Stand in your casts. When they expire, you immediately restore a bunch of magic. Don't have anything, or don't have any intentions of spending magic aggressively at this stage, at least not until we get a Selene boon. So I think we stick with this for now. And okay. Admittedly, I did not really look at what this boon does besides giving us bonus damage. Okay, it is also larger area, so that is convenient for sure. Okay, so this would be a quote-unquote minor reward. Oh, no, I take it back. It's not. Okay, so this is not the right time to test out the new Arcana card. Okay, now we do really want Chaos to show up. We will definitely be going in that room, and it is... Oh, that was silly damage, but it is so early on in the run that this is the ideal timing so we can get as much value out of Chaos as possible. And it should be... Even when it comes to the negative aspect of this boon, then we shouldn't even have the boss fight to deal with. So let's go in. Now, last time when we went in here, we got the reward guaranteed just from talking to Chaos, the crafting reward we were looking for. So I'm hoping that happens this time around. Oh, except, hold on. This is what we need. That works too. Okay, never mind. That's what we were looking for.
Has given you his blessing, I see. Apollo was not always so willing to involve himself in your family's struggles. Perhaps the present matter gives him little choice.
That's actually an interesting comment, because Apollo did not exist in Hades 1, or at least was not someone who gave you boons in Hades 1. So I wonder if that's sort of a little reference to that. He felt like the most significant god, or at least certainly one of the most significant gods that did not make an appearance. Okay, so let's see. Our casts make us deal damage, or cause us to take damage. Afterward, we sprint 20% faster. It's nice, but it doesn't feel like a game changer. Next two boons have one fewer option to choose from, but afterward, we use less magic. Also, convenient, but not game changing, at least not unless and until we get a big Selene boon. Next four encounters, we take huge chunks or more damage, but then we deal way more damage with our attack. Usually, I would say that's one of the best possible rewards from Chaos, except this is not a great weapon for the basic attack. Again, the special is what we really like, so I'm half tempted to not take this. Obviously, the downside is also almost certainly the worst. I mean, it's early enough that maybe we can get by with just basic enemies not being too threatening, but... Alright, we'll take it. We do need to be careful for sure. Okay, so this would be a room in which we might expect this quote-unquote minor reward to be replaced with a quote-unquote major reward, namely a boon, I think, health upgrades, magic upgrades, and potentially even hammers are included in that group, so hammer would be the ideal outcome, but still unclear with the phrasing whether this is guaranteed to happen that way, or if there's just a probability. Okay, now, I hate these specific enemies we find ourselves up against here. It is hard to completely avoid taking damage from the tree dudes. The little brambles that they create. Even these guys can corner us sometimes.
For me.
Okay, we have the choice to transform it. So it is our choosing when to do that. Okay, so, and I think that actually is best to do in the first floor, because as of not the most recent patch, but maybe one patch before that, they changed it such that the latter floors give you more rewards per room. So I think, even though I do like the bones, let's... Okay. Get more Apollo. That could be good. Let's see. Attacks deal more damage in a larger area. I mean, we are about to get, in a little bit, serious damage bonus from Chaos on our attacks, so that is kind of tempting from that standpoint. Again, with the sprint speed and daze, I mean, I do think this is potentially one of the best dash abilities. It's possibly the highest in terms of the movement speed bonus it gives, and then the daze is also defensive, which does pair pretty well with the dash, which is usually something you're using defensively. After you take damage, foe take damage, inflict daze. I mean, that's also decent defensively, but I mean, the only reason not to take this is really because we would like to have something higher rarity. A little bit unfortunate that that's just a common, since that is potentially something we would like to start building around with the help of Chaos. So maybe we'll be a little patient in that case. And let's do this.
Do your thing.
Okay, that's 30 more of that. So that's one downside. Oh, okay, well now we can do this if we want. Although I kind of want to focus on the Psyche a little bit. Because with... Oh. Is that a special sound effect? It was a special sound effect because that is Nemesis.
Got here well before you did. Cleaned up too. Makes you mad, I know. Don't hold back. Let's see how strong you really are.
Oh?
I don't want to fight you, Nemesis. I don't even want to speak with you right now.
Is this going to be one of the ones where she deals damage to us? Or we have the option of her dealing damage to us and getting a reward in return? I thought that was one of the possible outcomes. And if so, does that... does Chaos's negative side effect factor in there? I'm not sure.
Asking you to fight me. Asking you to hit me.
Oh?
See if you can even make me budge. It'll be worth your while.
I mean, we don't have a lot of base damage, if that's how this works.
Let me have it.
Oh, what? Okay, there's no way we're getting this. Also, I totally missed on most of these.
That the best you can do?
Apparently, but also I...
Get lost.
Oh. I was like, I don't recognize what this is. It restores 1 health. And we had full health. So, alright, fair enough. That was weird, though. Because... one of the reasons why we did not deal much damage to her was it was really off-putting. The range of the special seemed to be constantly changing. So, I was like running back and forth trying to get him to hit, and I missed several. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think one of the changes was they added art to icons to some of the things that did not previously have icons. When you would next take damage, receive healing instead. Oh, and I think this is new. This is just outright new. We heal instead of taking damage. I mean, well, we have that effect from Chaos, the negative effect from Chaos. That's actually... oh, excuse me. And I've also gotten hiccups. Might have been able to cover up a few of the littler ones earlier, but alas, wonderful timing. So, while the Chaos effect is there it is again, is active, maybe is kind of nice, although it'd be kind of nice to just save our coins altogether. We did also get a an upgrade for the amount of magic, or rather, not magic. Oh, I saw this and thought magic. Oh dear. The amount of coins, I meant to say, that we start a run with. Oh, you're nasty. And you are going to deal a lot of damage to us, I'm realizing.
One of the family trophies.
I'm also realizing that our special is going to open up more of these than I had really intended.
There.
Naturally, it's the last thing we attempt to open. This is also something... Oh? Prophecy fulfilled. I don't know what from. But this is one of the things that we just unlocked. So it's a trove. It will spawn in additional enemies. The faster we kill them, the more rewards we get. If we kill them almost instantly, we'll get the full 100 coins. If we take a long time, it could drop to... I don't remember if it can actually go down to 0 or if it'll stop at 1, or at least based on Hades 1 experience. We do still have the downside of that chaos effect, so this is risky, don't get me wrong. But in the name of, showing you what it's about, we'll go for it. And this is, you know, not great, the set of enemies we have here. Tanky, and as I was saying before... What? You spawned again? As I was saying before, it is sometimes hard to avoid all the roots that they spawn. And I really wish we had a better way to deal damage to you, because at this point, we are basically gonna get nothing out of this, I would imagine. You can see how much monies there is now, and it's basically gonna be nothing. Okay, minimum is apparently 10. More enemies are spawning? Okay, it tells us how many are left, okay. So this is gonna be a perfect example of how to fail horrendously at this type of challenge. Assist kill, wonderful. Alright, so we lost some of our armor, and in exchange we got 10 coins. Probably not a great exchange, and as I was saying, or at least implying, usually you would prefer to do a lot better than that. Now we do have 380 coins, in large part because of the huge Arcana boost that we got, so we could stand to benefit from this shop. We will not get hit, we will not get damaged by the first 2 hits from this mini-boss, but once we do start taking damage from it, it's gonna hurt a lot. Let's do it. We'll try out the new Arcana card for this. Ooh, that was... I also have no clue what the, oh, the feedback is... Okay, that feels cheap because of the smoke. I could not see anything. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, but the fact that they hit me immediately upon going into the invisible, the clouded area is the same issue that I've stated before. It's one thing when, you know, upon changing which zone you're in, you can see, there goes the armor, that was the risk, of course. It's one thing if you can see what is gonna happen and be able to react in time. It's like, obviously I can't see in the middle now, but okay, upon going in, give me at least a split second to react to what the boss is doing. But that is not always the case. That was bad. This guy really is pretty predictable. Should not really be something we take much of any damage from. Just get him in the stun lock now that his armor is gone. This is where it's straightforward, of course. It's the first part where he has the armor.
Rage it must have felt. Ready, Homer?
Okay, get a few more seeds.
Olympus, I accept this message.
And, okay, so we held back on the attack boom before because it was lower rarity. Now it's at least rare, so it is better. And I think we'll take it. Because we are just all Apollo at this stage. But now we have... Once the Chaos Boon evolves, which it should after this encounter, unless if there are no enemies in here, then we will legitimately have decent attack damage. Which would have been nice for the previous encounter. Okay, coins, which we do still have a decent number of, even after kind of failing on that trove, or upgrading the rarity, or rather the level of one of our skills here. I do think we might actually want to do that. You guys are also kind of nasty, in large part because of the armor. It's hard to be particularly precise with this special. Definitely not going to be the only wave of enemies. Alright, we can do significantly more damage with our basic attack now. Don't need to be relying exclusively on the special. Ooh, there's a really big room in terms of number of enemies. Did not expect there to be another wave. Ooh, I almost walked straight into that. In fact, I'm surprised that we did not take damage from it. Alright, these guys will just continue to spawn more enemies, won't they? If we leave them alive for too long. And we have over 150 magic already. And we did get one magic improvement. Okay, we did get the Chaos Boon just evolving there. And now... do we lean into the attack? I mean, maybe I've been wrong all along, and the attack is actually totally fine to work with this weapon, and for whatever reason, I've just sided with the special. But given how we just got 50% attack bonus, I feel like that is probably worth prioritizing here. Then, I thought I saw something over there, or am I making that up? Well, apparently I'm making that up. Okay. Again, I think let's prioritize Psyche, because there's at least a few Arcana upgrades at this point that I feel like we could stand to benefit from. Perhaps more so than we would from getting ashes. Well, we have enough ashes to unlock the things that we need. Our bottleneck is, for the most part, the grasp at this stage. But yeah, that's 46 damage per hit. Now that is very solid. Maybe I was selling the basic attack short on this weapon. Okay, it would pay to pay attention to the enemies though, and not just completely zone out. Okay. Now that
Split path.
okay, so we do not have any boons outside of Apollo boons. I actually do like the combination of Apollo and Poseidon, though, in particular, because Apollo, we've already seen, gave us some things that increased our area of effect, and then Poseidon has a bunch of things that do knockback, so if you combine those things together, larger knockback is a nice way to keep enemies safely, or a safe distance away from you. Although, once again, we could get a palm and be sure that we can upgrade exactly what we want to upgrade, and that might mean another attack, that might mean special this time around. Do we have any actual additional things to upgrade special? Is it just this boon? I guess it's just that boon. I'm gonna go with this, to be honest. I mean, I would very much still like to see Poseidon show up later, and we are taking the risk that we are not going to actually have that Poseidon precedent, so it is a bit of a gamble from that standpoint. Not to say that we have to have Poseidon be one of our other gods on this run, but I do like that idea. I'm just trying to get the best of both worlds. Yeah, I dashed into that, and sort of that. But this room is tiny. There's still more enemies in it. I mean, this is just wave 2, so I really shouldn't be too surprised about this, but previous room had 3. I did not expect.
One remains.
Okay, but we have taken so much bad damage at this point. And we did get a healing room, but it was not very well timed. Okay, so it was previously 20% incremental damage, now it's just 15, but I mean, that's still pretty solid, getting up to 95% total, and either that or special, but again, I think that given how we've been stacking, at this point, a few attack boons, or attack upgrades, it's worth going with that. Okay, so at this point, this is almost certainly the last room before the boss fight. So free health upgrade or shop with 450 plus coins. I mean, we could use something defensively, either max health or ideally some healing. I think we might go for the shop. Usually we've been trying to avoid going with floor 1 shops, trying to save our coins for later shops, so we don't run out of coins at the end of the run, but okay. We can afford all of this, right? And I think we might. And I think we will take this before we take the Hermes boon, because I think we would be okay with just about any of these getting upgraded. If it's the Blinding Sprint, it is the speed that gets upgraded, right? I think that's fine. It's Nova Strike, though. Okay, it's once again the attack boon. It's another incremental... Wait, was that 10 or was that 15? I forget if we were on 90 or 95% before. Okay, so at this point, we are definitely getting some diminishing returns, but if that is truthfully going to be the primary thing we're building around, then it's not a bad thing for that to be really strong. So we will spend like crazy.
That's just the way it is. The benefits are more than worth the asking price. You got my guarantee.
Okay, let's see what you give us. Faux projectile speed is slower. Get gold in greater quantities, I do think this is a good time for that, because it's very early on in the run still. There's a lot of time to benefit from that, though your sprint is 15% faster, gives you a barrier that ignores 2 instances of damage when we already have 20% increased movement speed, is kind of tempting, to be honest with you, because 35% increased sprint speed, at that point, we are lightning fast. And blocking 2 hits per encounter, along with the Arcana card that has us avoid 2 procs of damage against bosses, and that is pretty nice defensively. So, given the timing of the run, this makes the most sense. Given our current build, this makes more sense. I'm gonna go with this, just because we do still have some coins even after spending aggressively here, and I am intrigued by this super speed.
That was quick.
Not really, although we do have a lot of movement speed now.
Besides me ever happen on you in this glade? Perhaps some evening Artemis or someone may appear instead.
This clearing, rest assured, is ours alone. These woods are vast enough. Yet I see everyone who passes through, no matter how clandestine they may think they are.
Okay. Okay, so remember well, now we have 51 damage. What was it before? Like 47 or something like that per hit on the basic attack? So that does add up pretty quickly. Almost walk straight into that still. So we do not have the upgrade that makes Hecate take more damage when we're on when she's in our cast circle.
Selene tests your will.
Selene? I would say she's on our side, although we haven't seen her yet on this run, so that's not really true. The last of them? I think it was. Ooh, okay, we resisted that. That was because she's a boss. So it did say, I didn't catch if there was like a sound effect or anything like that. And, you know, just a little text that pops up like that is not going to be the easiest thing to notice in the more chaotic boss fights like Chronos. That's not the real you. That's not. That's the one that's furthest away, which I'm not really sure we can hit. Oh, okay. We're very close to going to the next phase. We might have been able to outrun that if I had not accidentally walked into that tree there. It did seem like the projectile sped up over time, but it did make me wonder for a second. Okay, here we go. I don't remember what the curse is. You'll see some of the enemies have when we start attacking them. Is it daze? And if so, what is that coming from? I mean, it's an Apollo curse, but I didn't think we had it on our attack. Is it actually our dash? It seems to be applying every time we attack. Is that the real one? I think it is. It is. Yeah, that's very nice. That is very nice indeed. Okay, that makes it nice and easy.
To bear each of the nocturnal arms is a terrible responsibility. I've only begun to realize their nature. A certain incantation shall deepen your understanding.
Oh? Go on.
The aspects of night and darkness.
Ooh, okay. Okay. That actually might be one of the biggest incantations in the entire game. If it does what I think it does. So that... Look at just how fast we are, that's insane. Okay, so we will get healing at the end of this floor, or the end of this room, which is nice, because as I was saying before, we did take some silly damage. But this might even get us back up to full. It does. Okay. And we should be much better defensively now that we have a few more ways to just completely negate taking damage and also to avoid taking damage from movement with our extra speed. Okay, so I am half tempted to take the Poseidon keepsake here. We are... Yes, we are armorless. So the Silken Sash is not doing us much good. In the past, sometimes we throw on the Moonbeam on this floor if we already had a Selenium Boon, although we do not. Oh, I think they also changed it such that taking this now increases the probability of Selene showing up soon. So, you know, it's a little bit less of a gamble. You can take this proactively if you want to. But I think might take this opportunity to throw this on and hopefully get Poseidon to show up, have an opportunity to upgrade a boon from him. And how many does it take for this to get upgraded again? 8 encounters. This might even rank up on the next floor, in which case we could use it twice in the same run, which would be nice. Otherwise, you would consider Gold Purse is certainly good for just getting a few more coins, as we did spend aggressively on the previous floor. But I think this will do. Don't need that. Could take that, but I think we'll be okay. And then I think we'll be okay from a seed standpoint as well, because we are currently taking the shovel. I think we found a few things already. Okay, so this is why I deliberately re-rolled one of the early minor rewards, because as we just saw there, you can get more value out of the rewards from these later floors. And sometimes, like, I'm not consciously charging our basic attack there, but sometimes just by pressing the button, spamming the button enough, it does go into the charge mode just a little bit on the attack, which is extremely similar to the basic attack on this weapon. But it is good, because we do have the Arcana card active that gives us significant bonus damage when we are not at full magic. So it is a nice, easy way to activate that sometimes. Okay. And then there's also this. Speaking of the seeds,
Good find.
I think we have a bunch of those that we've yet to plant. Okay, still going to prioritize Psyche over Ashes at least. Maybe every once in a while we'll take Bones, just because those give us a little more versatility, more flexibility, I should say. That's a lot of projectiles. I would also like for you to leave me alone. Okay, well there's the benefits of the movement speed for you. I would like for some of you guys to please just go away. I know you explode. I know you don't take extra damage in here, but oh, I'm gonna go in there anyway. You know, maybe don't go point blank though, because it's much easier for them to hit us. Those projectiles take a little bit of silly damage in the process. Okay, so we're already back up at 247 gold. How did that happen so quickly? So I was gonna say, at this point, we probably don't have the stuff to make the shop meaningful, although that may not be true. We can get at least one upgrade here. Tell you what, let's do it.
Don't look down.
Maybe we'll go for the free boon in the penultimate room rather than going for the shop. Okay, so three gold. And this is where you rewind the tape and go, did we miss a golden urn anywhere? Because that is the difference between getting Selene and not getting Selene here. Ah, that is painful. Because I think we really do have to take Hermes.
In the name of Hades.
Okay, let's see. Well, this would have done it as well. We get it slightly later than we would have otherwise gotten it. I think we do still stand to benefit from taking it now, though. Especially, wait, hold on. Now, okay. Now it works. Now it works. Thank you, Hermes.
The boatman Charon is familiar with every twisted pathway through this world. Yet I provide for him my light, nevertheless. He need not always find his way alone.
Okay, so let's see what we get this
Make
time.
your choice.
So we can do the necromancer thing. We can do the turn into a impervious person thing. I think this might be the one Selenium boon that we've not yet taken, and therefore the one that is still required to complete one of the prophecies. Rise up, then crash down target area for 200 damage. It's significantly less damage than the other damage-oriented hexes, but it costs way less. I think that might have also been a thing that they changed. They might have made many of the hexes cost less before you can use them. I think there were several things related to hexes and possibly magic as well. You might automatically regenerate a little bit of magic after spending some. Okay, let's try this. Okay, sure. Just out of curiosity. I'm gonna do this, spend a little bit of magic, just test this out. If we stay still for a little bit, do we automatically regenerate some magic? No? Okay, I made that up. Never mind. That is not a thing. Okay, so mini-boss Poseidon. We do have the Poseidon keepsake, so we really should take this. Honestly, the downside is that the mini-boss is going to give us higher rarity stuff, and so we ideally take at least a rare boon from this, and we cannot upgrade rare boons with this keepsake. It needs to rank up one more time first, so we'll see what happens, but it is you, as we oftentimes see. Yeah, didn't really... Oh, Chaos as well. I did not even think that we were going to be in that range. I was focusing entirely on these guys. Oh, we can hit both of them there. Did not realize that the attack can pierce through an enemy. Ooh, and I almost got hit by two things. Alright, still taking some really bad damage. We can destroy that projectile by hitting it? Okay, I also did not know that that was a thing. But apparently I missed it that time. Okay, I did not stand in a great spot there. Where are you going? Right where we are. Whoa, I was dashing. I did press the dash to get out of the way, but I was still on a dash cooldown. And that one I walked into. That one is entirely my fault. Okay. Theoretically, you can now be stun locked. But we are not doing well defensively. And from that standpoint, I mean that I am not doing a good job of avoiding taking damage. So I've taken some very silly damage here.
Are you east the bottom of the sea? Or very close to it? Must be even darker than what you're accustomed to. And the terrible pressure. Not even I can stand it for too long. So how can you?
What? Surely Poseidon could, right? Okay, so this is exactly what I was saying. All of these are rare, and therefore we cannot upgrade any of them. But if we had gotten this room just a few rooms later, our keepsake might have upgraded, and we might have hit that threshold. But alas, we did not. After you strike foes with your weapon, a spirit bubble may appear for magic restoration. Not super concerned about that. Enter location, prime some magic. We have a lot to spare right now. Reduce any damage we would take by 3 per hit. Solid defensively, although probably doesn't compare to some of the other defensive stuff we already have. I do really like the hydraulic might. I think we go for that. Okay. I do like the Apollo. Now, you could make the case that after taking some silly damage that we ought not to have taken, and having gone through at least half of this floor, such that the negative aspect of the Chaos boon is probably still going to be active for the boss fight, you could make the case that we shouldn't go in here. I am going to do it, but it's not necessarily a given that this is the right choice. This is really nice, although technically we didn't need that for the craft, because we should already have enough, just from the one we got earlier. We do still have to plant them and have them take a little bit of time before they're harvestable.
Hail, almighty chaos.
I thought she just said hey, not hail. Hey, mighty chaos, how's it going? Charge up moves deal damage to us, but afterward we heal 11 every time we walk into a new room. That is kind of nice, especially given how much damage we've taken. Next 3 encounters, our dash is slower and costs us 5 magic. Afterward, we have a 65% chance to find additional resources with our gathering tools. That's another one that early on would be great. It's still maybe early enough for that to be helpful, although not a huge deal. Or, well, not a game changer, and it obviously is mostly from it's purely a crafting resource related thing doesn't help us from a combat standpoint. Next 4 encounters, our sprint is slower. Bear in mind, our sprint has, what, 35% extra speed right now, so to take off 41 means we're only a little bit slower than base movement speed, or base sprint speed. Afterward, we restore magic over time. I think it's probably this. Given how, as I was saying, it is sometimes I can accidentally go into the charged attack mode with this weapon without even realizing it. I need to be a little bit careful of that, but I think the upside is the best, and it is potentially still avoidable. The downside. How many rooms does it take for that to evolve? 4? I think it's still going to be active for the boss fight, especially when you consider that it only, oh right, wait, the extra damage? Except that I delayed a little bit, and in doing so, we did not really benefit from the extra damage, and just took more damage instead. Okay, deliberately pausing a little bit so that I don't accidentally go into the charged attack. Man, 3 phases, okay. 3 waves. Ooh, that was mad about that. Not entirely from yes, it's partially my fault, but it was not the attack that I meant to do to hit the enemy that I had wanted to hit. That one I just wanted to get one more attack in so that I could stun you in time, so that you wouldn't have been able to hit me. But it's just all these little things. Individually, it might not seem like that big of a deal, but add them up, and we find ourselves with 33 health, and we have not even fought the boss yet.
I can still fight. Could unseal one of the other paths.
Oh. I mean, I would kind of like to do that, because magic is not very helpful for us right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna take that risk. That was also very sloppy positioning there. I am sorry. There's no excuse. There is no excuse. It's just bad. Okay. Is it the ideal room? No. Is it better than the magic room? Yes. Okay, remember, use this aggressively early on. That is a short duration. Wow.
Vaporized.
Go, chase after them. Oh, there's a trove here as well. Now, this is a case where, alright, we did take the extra risk of going into the Chaos Room. I'm not going to do the trove. Not unless it's healing. If it's healing, I might consider it. It's a nasty combination. These guys lock down a large area, and then the other little dudes chase us down into an area where we potentially do not want to be going. Not gonna lie, I may have thought that crafting resource was an enemy for a second, because they are basically the same size and color. That's really annoying, that it started the attack looking straight at us and hit us. Technically, it was facing us, so I should have known, but still, all these little things add up, and at this point, I'm legitimately getting mad at myself. Okay, special upgrade, sprint upgrade, damage upgrade for that first 10 seconds. I mean, that's, what, 23% damage boost for all, or well, attacks and specials, whereas this is 20% for just specials. This only lasts for 10 seconds, this lasts for the entire duration. This is only 4% increased movement speed. I think we probably do this.
Now.
Okay, obviously we can take this. Take a look at what this is. It's money. I don't think we can afford to take the money. Okay, I assume this is the last room before the boss fight, because this is a shop, although the fact that there are 3 choices, that's a little unusual. Usually it's just 2. So we could go shop with 225, which is enough to get 1 boon and maybe 1 healing item, which I think usually costs exactly 75. So honestly, we might be relying on the healing item more than anything, in which case the shop is definitely the best choice. But otherwise, we get a boon for free in either of these cases, and we don't yet have Demeter, but she could be useful to help us out defensively. So I think we're going purely based on trying to get the healing. And we don't have it.
I sure could use your aid.
We do get a little bit of extra money, but that's alone is probably not reason enough to have chosen to go here. And this is probably the only thing we're going to take, in which case, probably would have preferred to have just taken the free Demeter boon.
Gorgeous. Paid a recent visit to the springs, There's nothing like a good hot bath, especially when in good company.
Yeah, except that we were on full health when we went to the springs, so the healing did not help us at all, and we could really use the healing right now. Okay, cast inflicts weak damage foes while dragging them toward the center. We inflict weak on nearby foes and gradually restore magic. Oh, we have gotten this before. It is kind of nice. Prime to add power to our attack, +7 base power. That is kind of nice. Not sure from a percentage standpoint what that equates to, or order of operations wise, if with the plus 105% and the plus 50% there, if that's actually more like a, you know, what would that be, like 17-ish? 18-ish base damage boost, in which case that is really nice. Guess we'll do it.
This must be love.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't need to tell you this, but I'm gonna say it. We are going to use a Death Defiance on this encounter, without a doubt. Was it avoidable? Oh, 100%. It is all my fault.
It can be a dangerous place if you don't know your way around, lady. Oh, though it looks like you figured that out all on your own.
Everything is damp and reeks to the heavens, and now I'm forced to listen to your snide remarks. And your insufferable song, I suppose?
I'm actually curious if that is in response to us being on low health right now, specifically.
You're damn right. And we'll keep playing our song until it's pitch perfect. It's a work in progress, so don't hold your breath.
Okay. Alright, extra damage. Okay, then we resisted the first proc of actual damage. Oh, took me a split second there to realize you were doing that attack. Okay, it is 69 base damage. If I had remembered what we were on before, then that would be easier to determine just how much we got from our most recent boon, but I do not recall. Okay, see that. Dash through this. Away from the drummer, but now we're going to want to be close to the drummer. Now we want to be away from all of you. That's mean. That was actually impossible for us to... Well, we avoided taking damage just because we had a... I guess technically the boon in that case. Yeah, that's go. Oh, they're just going this way. The drums. Okay. That I attempted to dodge through, but apparently I was stunned for it, I guess. Okay, she's immune now, probably because we were focusing on her for a while. We have basically not attacked you at all. Where did you just teleport to? Actually, no. There you are. That is really nasty when Skilla initiates that attack and you're already in a corner. I was all caught up in how the cast had frozen her. I was about to say, oh, that's so convenient. Okay, now you're, the Kitarist is immune. Which Skilla was actually facing us during that phase. Did we get hit there? I think we might have. Oh, and then I completely went to sleep there. Okay, now you're immune. You're the featured artist. Oh, okay, except that means be careful of that. Oh my gosh. Sprint not directly into the enemy, please. Gosh. Oh, this is just, I mean, we didn't actually take damage from that, although we probably deserved to. Oh, I did not realize we were being hit by the stun attack. But you just charged the drummer. That's very rude. Yeah, the drummer is technically still in her featured artist mode, in which she does stuff like that, which makes her stronger. Movement speed is definitely helpful, though. I don't know if we technically had enough range there. Really? Oh my god. And then I just lost all composure there and took 5 instances of damage in a row. I don't even think that's an exaggeration. The problem was, it was little things that weren't that big of a deal. And then I proceeded to get hit by much bigger things after that. Okay. I'm ready to just end this run right now and say, I'm sorry. I've royally screwed this up in every possible way. And there's no turning back from this. Because it is almost impossible to redeem it at this point. But no, we do want to be in there. Okay, hold on. Just want to get rid of this drummer already. There we go. At least she is gone. Should theoretically make things more straightforward now. She was definitely one of the big problems. That was asking for trouble, as I have done far too many times in this run. I keep on putting the... I mean, I guess it is still somewhat meaningful to put the cast on them, even if we don't have that Arcana card. It does theoretically slow them down. Okay, I also would help if you actually aimed at the enemy that I was trying to aim at. Not who I was aiming for. Okay. Trying to get rid of the guitarist because she needs to go down first, technically speaking. There we go. honestly surprised we didn't get hit by the little stuffs there. Now, I'm not really sure we have a choice but to start using the special to fend off against some of these guys. There we go. Okay. Pretty bad. I mean, ultimately, we used a Death Defiance as we expected we would need to.
That's quite enough of them.
So I guess, relative to expectations, maybe it wasn't quite as bad as it seemed. We are about to get some healing, but I feel horrible right now about the way that I'm playing.
I see.
Horrible right now. Wait, did we just get extra healing out of that for some reason? I thought I saw a little snack bar, like you, like the healing items. Well, we did get Poseidon to show up, so from that standpoint, this keepsake worked. However, we were unable to use his upgrade, so from that standpoint, it was not quite as useful as we would have liked. We did get Selene to show up, and therefore we could benefit from the Moonbeam. It has, in the past, made a pretty huge difference for our hexes, and made them really the centerpiece of many of those previous runs. So maybe it is worth doing that, although it is tempting to throw on something more defensive like the Ghost Onion. There is also a case to be made for the coin purse, or the gold purse, just about any point in time, but we'll go with Moonbeam. And I think we probably will take that life... no, I don't think we will take that life essence, because we are one room away from getting that to evolve.
Time to dry off.
We're going to get a little bit of healing going in here anyway. I'm also just recalling that, don't ask me why that reminded me, but I'm pretty sure we walked past some lore in, what was it, the Chaos Room? Okay, I do really like this, though. Hammer, obviously ideal. Is this going to be our first hammer? It might be. The Demeter, as I said, was a boon that I was hoping we might get previously, and then the coins, since we've been spending aggressively, we don't currently have all that much going on there.
There's the bow.
Okay, activate the bow. Are several little rewards probably worth going for first here? If we could just stun lock you, that would be great, because I don't really want you to hit me. Of course, same could be said of basically any and every enemy, but you know what I mean. Oh, well, that one did hit us. But maybe don't dash toward the enemy. Okay, so this is the little Selene, but because we have the benefit of that keepsake that we just picked up, there's still quite a few points for us to work with. And this tree is quite different from the ones we've seen before. So we kind of have to commit to going one way. Although with 7, let's just see, how many does it take to get to the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go all the way to the end on one of these and then get a little bit more progress. And bear in mind, we're going to get a full-blown Selene upgrade after this, which I think gives us 2 points. So we'll be able to go up to this one on one of the other ones, or go for this. So let's just plan around the big stuff. What do we prefer? After using your Hex, you can use it one more time during the next 3 seconds, so you can spam it. Or Hex also inflicts the effect of your dash boom on up to 5 foes, which is... I think that's where the Deus is coming from Apollo. It increases the magic recharge... Oh, both of these do. Okay, I think that is a change. I think the starting threshold was reduced, but the big upgrades here increased the cost. That's all from the most recent patch. Okay, Hex deals damage in a larger area. Tell you the truth, we really have not been using much magic at all, and we don't really have magic restoration, so on second thought, maybe it wasn't the best idea to build around the Hex. We also can't use any charging skills until we complete one more encounter because the Chaos Boon is not yet evolved. So there's all that stuff, which, you know, hindsight 2020, I probably would not have done that, but that's also the case for just about everything in this run thus far. So I feel like we do this. Damage in larger area works pretty well with that. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, and that is something we can look to target soon. Also deals damage before you rise up. I have no idea how useful that is. Okay, base power, let's do that. It only has 200 base power, unlike the 1,000 we have from the big blast that we've gotten a couple times before. So 50 base damage is, percentage-wise, a pretty huge deal. Charges up automatically as though you use... Oh, okay, no, that is really helpful, actually. Because we can't really do this right now. Well, technically we could, but we'd have to sacrifice this. Okay. Hex is not ready. Move even faster. Hex has more power. Now, this is tempting, to be honest with you, because we have so much speed. At a certain point, maybe the speed no longer makes that big of a difference, but Cerberus in particular is nice to have the speed to avoid the fire fire breath attack. So, I mean, we probably already have enough. Maybe we go once again go for the damage. Charges up the Hex even more. That's helpful. Even more base power. Now we take this. So now we could go for the extra area of effect, or we start working toward getting this one. I do like that too. Ideally, we'd be able to get both this and that. I don't know how good that is. Damage to armor, that seems pretty useless, but we're going to take it just because it gets us closer to the thing we're trying to get. Okay, I know what you're trying to do. Ooh, that was nasty. I thought you were dead, and you are not. I'm having a pretty significant problem with the basic attack not targeting the enemy that I'm pointing my controller toward. It is auto-targeting totally different enemies. It's happened several times already. Sometimes it hasn't been that significant. Other times it kind of has been, though. That was nearly one of them. Times like this, where there's an enemy that's rushing you down, you really want to get rid of that enemy specifically. If it targets someone else, that's a problem. Like that, I was aiming for the other guy. Okay. So now I think we've gotten all the small stuff. So bear in mind, on this floor, there's the chance of Echo showing up, in which case you would actually like to do the most important thing last, which I think would obviously be the hammer. So let's maybe go Demeter first, then coins, then hammer.
Smackers.
Okay, we've learned that the big werewolves can make the little werewolf head guys spawn. That is just further reason to prioritize going after the big dudes if possible, but as I was previously stating, the basic attack on this weapon is very bad at targeting a specific enemy. I don't know what. Oh, okay, well, I know why that guy attacked us. So he could hit us. There was another dude who was nowhere near in range, though. Strange. Also bad damage. You know, it's that attack. I'm just realizing I should have seen this before. Okay, now we can do this for what it's worth. And that was the wrong direction. But we can do it again. Okay, I did not realize that it does not give you any time to aim. It just goes straight into it. That was also damage.
And now my claim.
I am sorry. I am playing so horribly. I am unbelievably mad, and I am trying not to make a huge deal out of it, but at the same time, I'm unbelievably frustrated at myself.
For it brings them warmth, melting away my snow. With my permission, of course.
Okay. Casts, deal damage, and inflict freeze. I do really like Demeter specifically for freeze purposes. I think we prefer freeze to the cyclone effect. We get more magic restoration here. That is, technically speaking, something that would be kind of useful. Oh, why did I think we were getting additional Selene stuff from this room? Never mind. I was saying earlier that we were getting that. That is not the case. So this would help us for Selene purposes. But I think general use case, that is still the best.
Desolation.
Chaos Boon did now evolve. And what was this one? It's healing, which could not come soon enough. Okay, now we do this. Alright, we also have the bonus damage and invulnerability at the very beginning. There's no way that's 10 seconds. That's maybe 5. Some of it might be because the enemies don't necessarily spawn in immediately upon activating the encounter. And then even once they do spawn in, it might take a little bit to find the enemy that you're trying to go after. But functionally, it is far less than 10 seconds. Like here, okay? Takes us a few seconds before we can even find an enemy. Okay, freeze though. Thank you very much. That's ready, just point it straight at the enemies, because it's not charged, and we can do this again, because why not? Okay. So this, we're hoping for something big, of course. Probably based on our attack, but I do like the charge special as well. It's faster, and it uses less magic. Attacks knock foes away and have plus 10 base power. Honestly, I think we might still take this. Even if this has the scroll, I know. I think we take this, in part because I'm still not entirely sure how the math works order of operations wise, if that is 10 base damage after you factor in all of our attack damage bonuses, or if it is before. Because if that 10 gets multiplied by 150%, then it's actually 25 incremental damage, and that's pretty huge. Okay, there's no way we are doing a mini boss right now. No way we are doing a mini boss right now. Now we get 15 healing going into a room, and that is very nice. It's not enough to, you know, save us, just one room, but it is enough that after a few encounters, can start to add up, if we can start not taking stupid damage. But that is, of course, a silly thing to say, because we know that that's going to continue to happen. We also start to see the knockback. Okay, it is 94 base damage on our attack. Well, that does prevent them from using their vacuum cleaner attack as well, which is nice. There's a tiny bit more max health of the free variety, which is good. Okay, the bow... Whoa, it's right there. Okay.
Grow golden once again.
Okay, not seeing any more mini stuff, although looked like it was... Oh, we know there is a mini thing way around the corner here. Oh, did I get hit by one of those? Because I honestly did not even see one of the projectiles until they were right in front of me. Okay, so this attack is useful for knocking these guys back. A little bit more max health. Okay, and once again, I think... Well, honestly, you could make the case we are more in need of health than we are in need of Poseidon boons, so it might make sense to delay the health to potentially get additional health from Echo, but we'll take it. Okay, that was useful, for sure. That was... Oh, there was an enemy there. Okay, I honestly didn't even know there was an enemy there. I was firing in exactly the opposite direction, and yet that was where the basic attack decided to lock on. Okay, that's ready. Sure, we'll do it. I don't know if we technically have damage immunity. Oh, also we could have done it again, but should be good here.
Now my reward.
Okay, take that. 155 max health is not amazing, but it's half decent at this point. It's pretty solid. Okay, so basically, that extra damage and the invulnerability... Okay, no, wait, it is. Is the damage bonus active for longer than the invulnerability is? Because if so, then that starts to explain some things. Because I noticed we were still dealing, what was it, like 144 damage, even after the invulnerability seemed to be down. Oh, I missed. Okay. There is a trove there. I don't want to talk about it right now. See what this is. We can swap out our... Wait. Oh, that's a... I was like, the icon for that is almost identical. What are we swapping out a lower rarity version of the same exact boon? No, this is the Demeter boon for the cast. It is a lot of base damage on the Poseidon version, although I really like the freeze, so I don't think that's a thing for us to exchange. We've 2 water. So we get plus 30 health from that. I mean, it's slightly better than a heart. Minor fines are worth more. Receive some of that stuff now, including healing. Honestly, we might have to take that. And if you combine that with the Hermes boon we have that also increased the amount of gold that we get, I mean, that's kind of helpful from that standpoint. It's very much a short-term thing. This is more of a long-term thing. Alright, we'll take that. We should take that.
Could get going now.
Okay, we could get going. There is... Okay, and there is Echo, as we thought might happen. No way are we taking that. I don't think we're doing that either. I don't think this is the time for us to continue to take more risks. I don't think we are in a place to do that right now.
Come on up.
Okay, get a little bit more. I think those are wheat seeds.
Echo, good evening to you.
Okay. Do we have Echo's keepsake? Because that's another one that I'd be curious to see if we don't have it yet. And we don't have any nectar. Okay, fair enough.
Good evening to you. Evening to you. Evening to you.
You know, you're never around when the boatman Charon's in the area. Fear not, for he's a friend. Though not always easy to talk to.
Okay, she acknowledges that.
Always easy to talk to. Easy to talk to.
Okay, let's see. So we can get a boon of Poseidon. We had the option of getting a boon of Poseidon from a mini-boss. Sure, it would have had higher rarity in that case, or at least a chance of higher rarity, but yeah, no thanks on that. Okay, so replace all spent uses of Death Defiance with ones that restore 50% health, and then the amount gets less and less. So we do get Death Defiance back, but the amount that we get from the Death Defiance when we come back to life is less. If we had lost multiple Death Defiances, then maybe that'd be worth doing, but I'm just not sure it's worth it at this stage. Or we get a boon from the previous night, and I don't remember which ones we got last time. I think Poseidon is fine. We were prepared for that to be a possible outcome. Okay, let's see. If you strike foes with weapons, Spirit Bubble may appear. I mean, yes, that does give us Magic Restoration, which at this point starts to become a little more meaningful. We could get the Ocean's Bounty, which now, you know, after having gotten the one that we got last time, we feel a little bit better about. Take -2 damage per hit. Feels like that's something that it's kind of has to pay off over time, because, you know, that's not going to save you in any one individual room. But if we had gotten it at the very beginning, and we might have even had that option but chosen not to take it, then it might have helped to mitigate some of the silly damage that we had taken that had added up over the course of several rooms. But at this point, I'm just not sure it has enough time to really benefit us all that much. Similar story, I suppose, for Ocean's Bounty, but at least in this case, we do get the immediate stuffs. And it does get us up to max health, which is now 200, which is pretty nice. Oh, and wait, did we get a, it is a water boon. So we got extra max health from that. So now, okay, the infusion's not bad.
Calm that shade down, Phrenos.
A little bit more of that. Psyche is certainly not bad. I didn't catch what number it said we had there. I think it's over 200 now, and I think it's like 290 we need to get the next grasp upgrade, so we're actually not that far away. I think we have to go hammer, right? It'd be kind of nice to get a little more Selene stuff, but I think we have to go hammer. Palm, there's probably one or two boons that could benefit a fair bit from that, and then at this point we are getting serious bonus value on the coins. Getting Nemesis vibes, although we've already seen Nemesis this run, so I doubt that's going to be the case. Where is that? Oh, hold on. Look at how much damage that is, though. Do we have something that is giving us extra damage to armor? I feel like that might have been a thing at one point. I remember seeing that. We might have chosen not to take it, though. Oh, you're still hanging out there. Okay. In fact, you have a friend who fortunately did not notice us initially. And there's this friend. I mean, theoretically, our damage is not that bad.
Flourish.
Let's see what the little things are. More money, armor. Interestingly. Okay, so at this point we know we're not going to get additional Echo stuff because we already did get Echo. Would love to, of course, gotten an extra hammer boon out of Echo. That would have been incredible. But the point being, we can probably lead off with the hammer upgrade this time around.
Lord Charon will want this.
So at this point, even the little gold is worth 34. It's pretty nice. Just gonna get rid of you because we can. Okay. I'm gonna start with the hammer. Okay. Who can we hit early on? Well, ideally, it would be you, if I'm being honest. Okay. Get rid of the annoying smoke cloud. It's those guys, the guys that looks like teeth. Sometimes they attack when we are nowhere near them, which is weird. This is ready to go. Sure, we'll do it. That wasn't the best aim. That was better.
Thorns hurt.
That, which I almost, to be fair, went into. Okay. What do we get here? Attack is probably ideal, but charge special is not that bad. When you channel your attacks, you move and fire 20% faster. Otherwise, attacks fire 20% further and deal plus... I think we have to take this. Like, technically speaking, yes. You know, either way, firing 20% faster is technically a 20% increase in damage per second. And the movement is helpful. But the distance is also useful here. And it's technically a little bit more damage per second, I think. So, yes, the scrolls are theoretically nice, but I think it's still going to be better to go this route. Okay. Okay, now this is a good example of a time when we absolutely would like to use our extra damage to take you out, but I hate the fact that you can exist in the first place on this floor. Yes, I will do this. Please stop doing that immediately. Okay, now you are at least stunnable, which makes you so much easier once that has happened. But we took a lot of damage from that. Okay, so now we can get even more attack damage bonus, which may seem silly because at this point it's only 10% incremental damage, but I think our base damage is high enough that is still quite good. Otherwise, you get 4% additional sprint speed. That's a little bit helpful against Cerberus, who's going to be showing up pretty soon. The special damage, not bad either. So that is still pretty solid. Honestly, though, I think we take this. We've been leaning in to that attack. There's the little armor upgrade, which... Oh, right, and these can... I forgot about this attack can bounce off walls. The extra range actually means it's a little bit easier for us to hit multiple enemies with it. Okay, let's do... I think I'm going to take the armor at the very end.
They know I'm here.
I could not find the enemies at first, which, as I was saying, does not help when we have a damage bonus and invulnerability at the very beginning of the encounter. That missed. First one was really good, though. Look at that, it's 109 damage per hit, and we can potentially hit multiple enemies per attack. Okay. Don't think we took any damage there. And that's 170 gold from just one of those. Obviously want to take this before we head out. And then I'm guessing this is going to be the last room before Cerberus, so nab that while we're at it. Okay, yes. So, shop with 672 coins or free Poseidon boon. Free is nice, but we don't have that much more time remaining to spend money, and we actually have a lot of it.
Clear the way.
Okay. Random boon, healing, palm. We can afford all, and I think we probably will take all. I think we probably start with the palm, on the assumption that this may not be something we like, and therefore rather just not have that in the pool of potential upgradable options. We can upgrade this even more. Okay, it seems like it will not... The incremental damage will not go any lower than 10%, so that's nice. Don't really care about the cast damage here, it's primarily there for the freeze. So it's 4% movement speed, or it's 10% incremental damage. We take the damage.
The underworld's power.
Let's hold off on this just in case this happens to make a difference and make us not feel like we need the healing. I don't know why it would, but it is Poseidon. Duo boon?
But it's never out of spite. Isn't that right, dear foster sister?
Poseidon, you needn't lie to young Malinois like that. It sends a terrible impression, and may make her hold you in as much contempt as do I. But let's cooperate for now. Why not?
So I'll be honest, at the beginning of the run, when we got non-stop Apollo boons, I was thinking, okay, if we can get another god or goddess to show up soon, we might be able to get a duo Apollo boon of some variety, but then, alas, it ends up being Poseidon plus Demeter. Location rewards exclude max life, max magic, and gold. Boons are more likely to be rare or better. 45% chance improved probability of that. Well, here's the problem. There's basically no end of room rewards remaining unless we happen to go into the mini boss fights in Tartarus. Occasionally there are some non-mini boss fights, in which case reward rooms, in which case we'll consider those, but it's just not the right time. If we got this near the beginning, could have been amazing. But it also actually is an anti-synergy with the other Poseidon boon that we have. That's really weird. It is a direct anti-synergy with a Poseidon boon, and this is one of the things that made it possible for us to get that boon and the duo boon to show up. So that seems kind of counterintuitive. So I think we do not take this. Granted, the alternatives are still not great, but this does just about nothing for us. Outside of, I guess that improved rarity chance might also take effect for the final shop in Tartarus, assuming that we buy a boon there, but is that worth using something here? Well, I mean, again, the alternatives are not great. Might honestly go for the Spirit Bubble. Charge, because I really don't think we're going to be doing charge cast stuff. I think we take this. It is a water boon. That is another reason why not to take the duo boon, because taking a water boon gives us 15 additional base health. And we are now at max health. I'm not sure why. but there you go. We did not end up needing the healing after all. So good thing we did not just take it there. Alright, so we'll jump into the Cerberus fight. We have movement speed, a lot of movement speed, so that's good. We have a bazillion opportunities to improve it further. Also, don't forget to do this. We had a bazillion opportunities to improve our movement speed further. Did not choose to take any of them because I had figured, well, we have so much damage already, or rather, so much movement speed already, that's just not necessary. Where do I stand? Oh, he's doing the fire breath, I thought. Oh no, he's summoning friends. Very different, in fact.
Easy now.
That's where the movement speed is helpful, though. There as well. That I should have avoided, although we got the Arcana of some variety that helps out. Apparently, I absolutely walked into one of those, and it prevents us from sprinting / dashing, I've realized, which I'm not sure I've discovered before. Feels like this time more than other times. That attack has trapped us in areas where we cannot avoid taking damage. Oh, that is nasty. Please don't do that. Oh, okay. Once again, the targeting system is failing me miserably. Oh, okay, that was maybe not the best timing. I don't think we ever saw these guys in just basic encounters. For whatever reason, they did not end up spawning this time around. The thing is, we don't really need the magic restoration, because for the most part we're relying on our passive hex charge up to do this. And this. Although I suppose it means we could be more aggressive using charge up skills of some variety. That AoE is too big. Should not be that big. Okay. That's cheap. That's just cheap. More ads? No. Opposite side of the arena. We almost did not make it there in time. So theoretically, this range should be really helpful, but he has very deceptive range on that ability there. Oh, that is also very much not the direction that I was pointing at it. Deliberately going charge this time. Oh, the damage does get significantly higher. Okay. Maybe I've been underselling that for a while. Maybe I did not I thought that it just looked like functionally the same ability as the basic attack, and maybe it was marginally faster. I did not realize that the damage actually went higher. That's fire breath. Okay. Charged attack. Big deal, it turns out. In fact, has humongous damage potential, it seems.
Princess returns terrifying Cerberus to his senses and familiar form.
I think they said that one of the other changes from this patch was that they made Cerberus more scary. I didn't really notice anything different that time, but I don't know if you guys did.
Now be at peace again.
I guess we can. Okay, before I get too carried away, just take a split second, make sure we don't miss any golden urns, because we had one time where we almost missed an upgrade by 3 coins. Although ultimately, very coincidentally, happen to have enough. Okay, so what we really like to see here would be, what is it called? Kiss of Sticks from the mini shop, which gives us Death Defiance back. It's expensive, but we have the coins for it. It is not here. Is this worth doing? The downside is terrifying. We don't take damage from just walking in, but the downside until it evolves is terrifying. We should, as long as we're a little bit careful with our selection, have enough time for it to evolve before we face Kronos. From that standpoint, it's okay. It's just all the rooms leading up to Kronos become potentially much more dangerous. I think we take our chances, though.
I need this.
I think we kind of need to take those types of risks. Okay, now Moonbeam has already served its purpose. I think especially since we have used one of our Death Defiances, we are very much in need of the luckier tooth.
Sure.
Still a chance we find another one of the mini shops somewhere along the way in Tartarus, and that might give us a Kiss of Sticks. We have enough money to purchase it, because it should cost 200, but we'll see if it shows up. It is rare. We are getting lots of additional monies as well, so that should help too. Okay, we did purchase the Chaos thing, right? But it apparently can't show up here, I guess? Just gives us one less room to work with, which actually is significant.
No, I'm here.
Because it limits the number of options we're going to have, because we'll have 4 rooms of enemies remaining.
As predictable as the
okay, like, this is what I mean. It's basically no time at all. The immunity active. Please stop using that attack. It is annoying when you all use that attack. There's the Chaos Gate. Just take a second here. Oh, okay. It made it seem like that's what gave us access to our Hex. No, I don't believe that to be the case. Yeah, that's a golden urn. Almost caused me to walk straight into the freezy part, but okay. So that would have been a room we could have considered going in because it's not a mini boss. But let's do this.
To Chaos.
We'd like to see those after Chaos because that is something that buys us a little bit more time then. Okay, we can get another one of these.
Gently now.
So I don't know if there are going to be other things that require that we use that resource. Possibly. We know other than the major incantation. Because we need to be really mindful of this. So it has to be something that lasts for 4 encounters or less. This is immediately off the table, so we can't guarantee that it's going to work. And also restoring 4 health after each location when it will activate before Kronos at best and nothing else means it's useless. You have 120 seconds to clear 3 encounters, or you take basically enough damage to kill you. That's probably off the table as well, since we're in the floor that has the most difficult and time-consuming encounters. Next 4 encounters, slain foes, drop an Inferno Bomb. Afterward, channel moves move 22% faster. I think this is the best on basically all accounts. Should evolve just in time for Kronos. 1 room early if we go to one of the optional rooms with extra enemies in it. But it's not going to be that one. If we do that, it's going to be one that is not a mini-boss fight. Okay, I was going to get that, but I will not get that. So I will instead try to maximize the value on this. Please stop running. Oh right, I totally forgot about the whole bombs that they're gonna drop aspect. That is important. Those do hurt. We are lightning fast. Okay, there is a mini shop. Holding out hope for that Kiss of Sticks. Still very unlikely that it happens, but if it does, that would be huge. Okay, now these little guys are annoying, because assuming there's a lot of them, which there probably will be, that means a whole lot of those. Oh, it's the rats. Oh no, the rats. That's a problem. That's a lot of the bombs created in that case. Just trying to throw down the occasional special to get rid of any of them that happen to be roaming around still. I think this is the last enemy though? Okay.
No traitor to the house shall go unpunished.
And yeah, probably could have used the cast there, but Kiss of Sticks. No. But do we have better or decent alternatives? There's nothing better than Kiss of Sticks at this point, in all likelihood, but whenever you take damage, if we got this right before the fight with Kronos, it would be amazing. Casts deal extra, I mean, anything that we get here is going to be in effect for the Kronos fight. So from that standpoint, you kind of need to consider it. I mean, outside of this, that presumably is going to take effect in the next room. And we're at full health right now, so it's not super helpful from a healing standpoint. It's basically just damage mitigation. I think we just go for this.
This should help.
We don't have a lot of cast damage, so I think we might save the 30 coins, and you never know, that might be the difference between us being able to afford something nice and not being able to afford something nice. Okay, so we will obviously go here. This does not count as an encounter for Chaos. Yeah, we can't compel you until we've chatted.
Nyx herself. Even she was powerless against the Titan. 2 of Night Incarnate's own sons served in my house along with her. I suppose he has them too.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, Thanatos is, I assume, one of the people you're referring to, who we've not seen, so I would assume that Kronos has taken him. The other, though, is Hypnos, who is safely in the crossroads, but he has not yet woken up.
No, Hypnos is with us. Fast asleep for all this time. Perhaps some sort of defensive response, but we have found no way to wake him. Brave Skelemius is with us as well.
Hypnos asleep again, and I've no recollection of that other name. But time has worn on me, perhaps. Regardless, if the witch yet leads the unseen, the will of night is not yet lost.
Wait, what are you saying? No recollection of that other name. Oh, okay. Hypnos asleep again. Separate statement referring to a different person, and I have no recollection of that other name, the Skelemius. Because, well, he might have gone by a different name in Hades 1. But what are you talking about, Lids? Skelemius and Skelly are totally different. Skelemius has a beard and mustache. And then, if the witch yet leads the unseen, you're referring to Hecate here? Then the will of the night is not, meaning the will of Nyx, powerful goddess who was a prominent figure in Hades 1, is not yet lost. Okay. Sorry, took a little bit to unpack that. Okay, this is the one boon that we've not taken from Hades. This is the only thing we have left to unlock the prophecy for it. How good is this, though? Your cast, launch a projectile dead ahead. The binding circle forms where it hits. Impact damage is 200. I mean, is that in addition to all of our other cast-related stuff? And this happens multiple times? It's not like that's a one-time thing? So I feel like we've never even seen this before. I mean, let's go for it. By some accounts, it looks like the best thing here.
Very well. Now off with you.
Prophecy fulfilled. Very nice. Okay, then we do this.
Go, Phrenos.
I want to see in the bottom right corner how much psyche we have. 295, did that say? In which case, I think that might just barely be enough. Oh, I saw that. Might just barely be enough to upgrade our grasp at the end of this run, which would be great. Okay, so I'm curious how this cast is going to work. Oh, it's... Oh, well, it looks familiar. I'll put it that way. Well, there's a craftable resource there. Hiding. Where are the... Oh, that's where the enemies are. Okay. Yeah, that seems pretty good, that cast, and it does heat seek a little bit. That seems like it could be very good. A little bit of silly damage. Oh, also I forgot a little bit about how the cast works there. I'm just treating it like a normal one for a second. Yeah, I would like for you to go away. I'd appreciate if you would go away. You guys, honestly, have been very annoying as well. Nope, please don't do that. You know, I mean, we could obviously use this. Which I kind of deliberately focused on what is technically, I guess, a trap. Because it was annoying me. But once again, you need to remember how the cast works. Just a matter of not instinctively using it the way that I usually use it. Okay, also the skull dudes are going to be a pain in the butt from a grenade bomb standpoint. Okay, that's not the best spot for that, and we also took damage from a few different sources there. These guys, these monies, that's what I've said before. They are no joke from a damage standpoint. They deal a lot of damage. Okay, so you are very well hidden. But we'll nab ya. Okay. Mini-boss for Poseidon. Not interested in that, I don't think. Not really sure what I'm looking for here. Oh, well there's this. I mean, I'm pretty sure the bonus gold would apply to this as well, so the potential is actually quite huge. But I don't have much confidence in... Well, I mean, we might be able to destroy these enemies quickly given how much stronger we've become, but I don't really think this is the time to be taking those types of risks. Try to a little more of the charge attack stuff, because, yeah. What I can't tell is that actually 500 damage per hit? 400 damage per hit? Or is it just that the damage is coming... and the increments of damage are coming so close together that it's just lumping the damage. It's like bundling multiple hits together into one number, giving you a false perception of how much damage that actually is. It's hard to hit the same enemy twice with that, because it travels a fair distance. But deliberately took a split second there to back up a little bit and then use the second round. Might have helped a bit. So if we do this, that damage is insane. If that's actually 1,000 plus damage per hit, then that is ridiculous. And that seems like there's no way it could actually be that high. But if you look at how many things we've taken to upgrade our attack damage, then maybe it's not that crazy. We're getting the extra healing in between rooms, which is definitely helping on a floor such as this. I missed. I was trying to aim it properly that time, but I still missed. But now I would appreciate if you didn't block when I'm trying to do the charged attack. Okay, so I think this was the last room before the, Is that... Okay, that's magic restoration, right? I was confused if that was a projectile that was going to deal damage to us, or what. That's also not going to work. That one I did aim improperly. But yeah, I think this is the last room before Kronos, and also the last room before the Chaos Moon evolves. Dash away a little bit, then do this. We will technically get frozen right next to that, and there's quite literally nothing I could do besides not get in that situation in the first place, which perhaps should have known better. Okay, now this, hold on. This is a little tempting. First, let's do this. shop with 886 coins. Certainly a lot. Certainly a lot. However, huge coinage when we have huge bonus coinage from our boons. This is still going to be active for the Kronos fight, even after going into this room. I think we go for it. Gives us a little bit more healing in between rooms. Granted, as to whether that is a net positive depends on how we do in this room. It does help when we can get crazy charged attack stuff going. It does seem like that is legit. May truthfully be as strong as it seems. Okay, but now we don't need to worry about the grenades dropping, so we can charge in and not have to worry about getting frozen like that in that area while one of the grenades is going to hit us. Okay, that would be great if that didn't hit your shield for that entire time. Okay, so 510. 510 gold, and we might have on net gained health from coming in here. And we can do it again? I mean, we have to, right? I mean, are we tempting fate? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, at this point, technically speaking, this is the difference between us having the special damage for Kronos and not having the special damage for Kronos. So it's a little bit of a meme, but I'm gonna go in here. Okay, I immediately regret this decision. Based on how many of these money bags there are in this room, I immediately regret this decision. Okay. Okay. I'm really hoping there isn't another wave to this room. Because you see how many enemies were in the first wave? It was kind of a lot. Okay, well that was the first wave. But there are several, apparently. There are still a whole bunch of money bags. And they are my top priority. That did help a little bit. Hitting them multiple times with the hex, in large part because they were stuck a little bit on a wall of sorts. That is pretty sweet. So is that. Oh, I thought we were going to be able to hit you before you hit us back. Surely this is the last enemy. Okay. Another 510 gold.
Now for the Titan.
Now we have no choice but to go into the shop, and with 2,000 plus gold, I'm pretty sure this is the most we've ever had at any given point in time. And we might have, well, I think after you consider the 2 rooms, I think we finished with about the same amount of health that we came in with. We should absolutely be able to purchase everything in here, I would assume, including the Charon card. And including the healing, which technically we'd stand to benefit from a little bit, but we are going to get, what, like 14 or 15 health just from going into the next room, which is almost all that we need. But okay, that's not super helpful. That's useful. This is higher rarity. This is the biggest thing, along with the Charon card, I guess, indirectly. Let's see what this is. That gives us a Charon card. Beach Ball? Oh, no. Okay, so for anyone who has seen our Mass Effect 3 multiplayer stuff, you know how I feel about beach balls. But let's see what this is. It is a duo boon coming from, I think it's Poseidon and Apollo in this case. So an Apollo duo boon is more along the lines of what we expected. Oh, I mean, that's actually extreme. Both of these things are actually extremely tempting because we've so much going on with our attack. The potential to hit twice, sure, it's only a 10% chance, but we're spamming the attack a lot, especially if we do charged attack. And so that can be a pretty huge deal. But what is this? Your sprint creates a watery sphere behind you, which surges ahead once you stop. What? Sprint creates watery sphere behind you. Surges ahead once you stop. So does it basically follow in behind us? Once we stop, like, we start sprinting, it creates it. And once we stop sprinting, that determines where it goes. And it deals 300 damage. 300 damage is a lot, don't get me wrong. And duo boons are cool, don't get me wrong. I still think this might be better. If we didn't have days on our dash already, which we do, I would say you could maybe make the case for this. But I think we go for that, for the pure damage. Because that theoretically has some pretty huge damage potential. And I think we are going to get another, well, directly a Charon card from that. And then we can spend all the money we want here, and this might be enough to get us another Charon card. We'll see. Not quite. I'm curious how close we are. Oh no, we still need to spend a ton. Okay, I take it back. Okay, so that's all we can do here. We did not end up getting a Kiss of Styx to get the Death Defiance back, so that's unfortunate. If we had done that, it does feel like now the build is starting to come together a little bit more, and also I have a better understanding for how we actually deal damage, namely, actually use the charged attack. So with one fewer Death Defiance, we'll see how we can fare against Kronos here. I mean, 250 health is a lot, so that much is helpful.
I'm home.
Hello, my girl.
Get up, wretch. Titan, Lord Master Kronos, whatever they call you now. It's time, as you might say.
Oh, that's his line.
It is indeed. And they have called me many things, many names in eons past. There are those who think me nothing more than the offspring of heaven and earth of all the nerve. And you are even less cordial than they.
I mean, that was pretty cordial. I mean, we're obviously naming him these things mockingly, but they were pretty respectful names. Okay, so we have the immunity at the beginning, and the bonus damage, so you bet we're doing this. Because it already dealt a huge chunk of damage. Oh, I dashed and nothing happened. That was frustrating. I saw it coming and I dashed with time to spare. Nothing happened. Okay, I see that. I'd like to be able to move in the direction that I'm telling you to move. I'd also like to be able to target the enemy that I'm telling you to target. I'm telling you. I know that I have played poorly. But there have been some very odd things that have made matters a lot more difficult than they had to be. I did see the double attack proccing there. It was subtle, but yeah, it shows a little ×2 above the target's head. I did not notice that first when you were doing that. Had I noticed that first, I probably would have made more of a point of doing this. Okay, I guess we'll do that. And I guess we'll do that. That's the big swing. Okay, this is a good opportunity to hit you. Some of this. You see how big that damage starts to get. He's below 50% health now. Does mean that now he can do the double and triple attacks. Which he did there. That's 2. Okay, just 2. 1, 2, 3. Honestly, our basic attack is better than that. Yeah, I did that just to avoid taking damage more than anything. I don't know what now, because I'm not sure what you were doing. Now I know. Okay, I'm not really sure I want to be there anymore. Okay, remember he can do multiple attacks. I kind of lost track of what he was doing, though. Admittedly. 3. Okay, we resisted that one. Okay, apparently we're hitting this now. Please allow me to go in the direction that I'm telling you to go and not get stuck there. Okay, these guys are extremely annoying. Make no mistake, especially when this turns into a bullet hell game. Honestly, that is my biggest complaint, or one of my biggest complaints. I do admittedly have a few. When it comes to, particularly the second phase of this fight, it just stops, it ceases to be an action RPG and turns into a bullet hell. Kind of out of nowhere. That's ridiculous. Okay, I should not have run into all those, but the fact that they can do that in the first place is pretty insane. Okay, I did move into that. With so many things on the screen, it's a little ridiculous. Okay, I did that just to dodge the attack, to be honest. Okay, that's 3. I want to hit Kronos now, but apparently I'm not allowed to do that. There we go. The damage really does add up there, but it is not easy to make it hit the right target. Okay, we did get killed by a one-shot move last time we got to this phase, and it was a little bit of an unintuitive one. I think I might understand it now, but in fact, it is very similar to this one. Yeah, mostly to avoid taking damage. I don't understand how that works. Okay. Okay, that is pretty sweet damage. I do appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. Gotta go. Not sure if we were hitting him during that. I kind of doubt it. Okay, this is, I think, the thing that killed me before.
I have had it with you.
Maybe? No, this is.
I call upon my subjects now.
It's really counterintuitive. Where are you supposed to stand during that? Are you supposed to be close to him, not close to him? Because there are some mixed signals. There's nothing I can do about that. There's also very little I can do about this. Because this is where it starts turning into a bullet hell, as I previously stated. There's nothing I can do but take damage there. I had no choice. This is the bullet hell, the like pure bullet hell. He can absolutely trap us in a nasty situation here. I remember this, where he can just deal damage after damage. Oh, okay. I like that we can still start hitting you there. Okay, I don't like how I dashed out of the way on both of those occasions and still got hit. That feels extremely cheap. Okay, I am supposed to stand here, but I'm not supposed to stand. What the hell am I supposed to do? It's a vacuum cleaner effect? Please face the correct direction so I can actually deal damage while I'm doing this. Because that is potentially the difference between us winning and losing the game. See that attack? I see that attack. I see the third attack. Please allow me to stand in the place where I'm supposed to stand. So we can defeat Kronos for the first time. Oh, we've finally done it.
I thought none could resist the ravages of time, but you, how?
On what on several occasions felt like one of our worst runs execution-wise. Ultimately, it was us stacking all the damage and figuring out the charge attack does in fact multiply our damage, making it absolutely humongous. And we had several times there, even when there were phases where we were supposed to be dodging, like in those moments where he has the one-shot kill move, but we have to stand on the specific hour marker, we can still hit him if we're aiming properly, which on a few occasions the game insisted on me still not hitting him. But that gave us windows of time to do a few hundred, sometimes even a few thousand points of damage, and that certainly started to add up, but it was still very close.
You'll get no answers from me, and no mercy either. Now die already, and I'll collect the ichor from your veins, or whatever flows through them.
Whew.
What is death to the deathless? A mere nuisance. This house is mine. Once I am gone, you shall be cast away.
So obviously he's a Titan, he's immortal, this is a roguelike game, so defeating him once does not mean we are done with the game as a whole. We are also technically a god or goddess, so we are technically immortal.
I expect so, and you'll be remade and back on the throne before I can return. But I shall return, and I'll slay you again and again and again if I must.
And there you go. What with it being a roguelite, that means multiple different runs still, and we are looking to, ideally, defeat him in all of them.
Even if, in so doing, it meant that you would never see your dear old family again. Because the mercy I have shown to them thus far is something I may have to reevaluate.
Alright, yep, so now he's extorting us.
Our family. And what do I care? I don't even know them. But I do know you will be dead here in another moment. Any last words?
Oh?
For you, my girl? No. None for now.
Alright, take him out.
Time cannot be stopped.
Kronos vanquished. Long time coming. Oh. Okay. And we have not seen one of these victory screens before. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't remember. I mean, it may be the case that this is also a thing that they tell you in Hades 1, but it's been a while. So most damage inflicted, attack for sure. Charged attack, I mean, if you consider that we only started doing that fairly late on in the run, that probably could have been a lot higher. Wolf Howl was the Hex, and so that was also a fairly late addition because we could not use it immediately. That added up a bit. I'm surprised the special is that low. So that is perhaps a little bit telling. If we're looking to reflect on this run and figure out what we can do better in future runs, I think with this weapon, we have learned not to underestimate the charge attack. Obviously, we loaded up on tons and tons of boons to increase our attack damage here, but I was just completely disregarding the attack and charged attack in the past with this weapon. So don't do that. And the special is not universally automatically going to be the best move on this weapon either, as evidenced by how even when we were spamming the special a fair bit, and with at least one decent special upgrade, the damage did not turn out to be that much. And the cast, we knew we were not focusing on that from a damage standpoint, so that's not surprising. Most damage suffered, it also tells us that. Unsurprisingly, Kronos is by far the highest. Infernal Beast, I'm guessing that's maybe the werewolves from the Fields of Mourning. And then Reed Stalker, I think, is one of the smoke cloud guys, possibly the mini-boss that we faced on the first floor. And outside of that, oh no, you can see the skull next to Wastrel. I assume that must be either the mini-boss on the first floor, or possibly even the one that spawned in the Fields of Mourning, the one that shoots all the little darts at us. I don't know if that would still get the mini-boss label in that case. But it shows us all the boons that we had, and we can look at all the boons we had to better understand what it was that made things go well here. And, I mean, if you consider that we had just absolutely ridiculous damage scaling on our attack, and found a good way to use it with the charge attack, I think that was the key. And the extra movement speed, you know, it's hard to put a number on just how much that helped us, but it very likely helped us avoid taking a lot of damage. And we also had the Arcana upgrades that made it so that we did not take damage from our two first 2 hits from bosses, which, if you consider that we had 30 health, means if not for that, we would not have succeeded here. You can say that definitively. And then I think our dash, one of our sprints, yeah, this one, gave us immunity for 2 hits. I'm kind of curious to see if this also blocks damage from the what are supposed to be insta-kill Chronos moves, or if the game basically says, no, you're not allowed to block this damage. But I don't know if we tested that this time, and I'm not really sure I want to make a point of testing it in the future. But alas, we are done with that run. Oh, okay. So we get this, which we've seen as one of the things we need for an Arcana card unlock, for one of the really good ones.
Nothing but sand.
It's sand. The sands of time. Okay, well, obviously, let's see what this is, so we can actually take in the scenery a little bit for once. Oh. Hold on. See this?
The gutted grand hall of the former House of Hades eerily lies still. Knowing the immortal Titan shall return, the Dark Princess pursues an object that may be the key to her predicament.
Oh. Okay.
It should be in the prince's chamber still.
We examined this, but I'm not sure what this is.
The remains of time.
First I thought...
Have a look around.
First I thought that was going to be the thing that made us teleport back and finish the run, so I was hesitant to click on it, but apparently that is what remains of Chronos at the moment. But he is, of course, going to come back, because he is, of course, a Titan who is immortal. But what's through here?
Thus did Melinoe, the Underworld's vengeful daughter, cross the deepest reaches of her realm to thwart her ancient, hateful foe.
Oh?
The Titan Chronos. Time itself, and time supposedly cannot be stopped. A claim the princess has her reasons to dispute. Hers is a tale that shall withstand time, yet it requires time as well. For now, a cruelly abrupt end shall have to do.
Oh. Okay, interesting.
Turn to shadow now.
Time cannot be stopped? Not to be stopped? Question mark? To be continued. Congratulations. You have vanquished Chronos, the Titan of Time, for the first time. However, he is not gone for good. There is more to be done before the perilous task of Princess Melinoe may truly be completed. We appreciate your patience as we keep building toward another vital destination of hers, Mount Olympus, Land of the Gods, which presumably is the final location if you go upwards. Obviously, we've only dipped our toe in the waters going in that direction, but until then, the surface awaits, some of it anyway. See how close you can make it to the mountain if you decide to press on, and thank you for playing Hades 2. So, as I was saying, Hades 2 is obviously a roguelite, which means you're not just beating the game once. There's both narrative and gameplay reasons for beating the final boss numerous times, as we will probably start to see here. But I am curious, because obviously we haven't gone very high up on our way to the surface. Is Mount Olympus inaccessible at the moment? Because I just assumed that if we were successful enough, we would eventually get there, but maybe it just doesn't exist yet at all. The other notable thing is that, for what it's worth, in early access for Hades 1, if you beat the game, you would have sort of a similar situation where the narrator, Homer, would come in and give you a little bit of an abrupt description for how and why you are just immediately dying, because the narrative and things to do immediately after completing a run successfully weren't yet implemented. So I imagine that it is not going to be as abrupt of a transition once the game is out of early access. So if that catches your attention as something a little bit odd, don't be alarmed. That is very likely something that is going to change as development continues. Let's proceed.
What just happened?
So we do end up back here, of course. I'm curious what we say to Phrynos, though.
Can you believe it, little one? I did it. I got him. What now?
We got him, because Phrynos went with us. Curious what we say here.
Chronos threatened that you'd never see your family again, the wretch. Well, here they are. No closer than before.
So obviously, we defeated Chronos once, but it's not as if all of our problems are gone after just one successful run.
Whoa, hold on. What's going on with you?
Never seen you so excited in my life. Whatever. What, did you discover a new species of root vegetable or something?
Well, not that long ago, we did discover onions for the first time, so she's not that far off.
Dora, I found him, Kronos, and I beat him. Withstood every trick he had until he yielded and expired.
Oh, nice. So then it's over, right? Or what?
Yeah, not exactly, as we were just saying.
Well, no, he isn't dead. I mean, he isn't gone, not yet. I have to go, alright?
Look, we're still figuring that part out, okay?
Yeah, all good.
And we did finish several prophecies.
Auspicious night. How far were you able to go last night, Princess? You were gone for some time. I sensed the growing fear and excitement in the air. Even heard some of the rumblings.
Oh, he knows.
If the rumblings were that I reached the depths of Tartarus, broke into my father's stolen house, confronted Kronos there and outfought him, then you heard correctly. Hardly a final victory, but still.
Yes, so, again, narratively, as you can see, it's not as if all of our problems are gone after defeating Kronos once. He's immortal. Obviously, he'll be back. So, there are still many more runs that we'll want to complete.
I would object to anyone but you diminishing such a victory. Is this not a vitally important component of the task you've been entrusted to complete?
But, as Moros is alluding to here, we should still find that there are a few notable things that change after having defeated Kronos.
Well, yes it is, but...
Then congratulations, and may the fates avail your next move.
Thank you, Moros. Okay, so let's see. A temporary setback. The daughter of the god of the dead shall some evening descend to the lowest reaches of the underworld and prevail in battle there. Prevail in the lowest depths, we get 1,000 bones as a reward for finishing our first successful run. That's what that prophecy is for. Then this must be from taking the last boon from Hades, daughter of the god of the dead. She'll earn a variety of boons from Hades, her father, the master of the dead. And that's 250 bones, not as much, but...
Your father rules the underworld by right.
Still certainly helpful. And then spectral forms, the daughter of the god of the dead shall rally 100 lone shades to join her fight. We were looking at this last time and saying, surely we will be able to get that fairly quickly and easily, right?
The shades shall rise up at your side.
Okay, so that's really nice from several standpoints. I have no idea what that reward is, but there are probably still a few of these things that we could target, like the one where we defeat Hecate with no Arcana cards. That's probably just its own kind of separate trip. Otherwise, a lot of these things we're just going to get closer gradually over time by getting more boons that we've not yet gotten, and, you know, we'll get there eventually. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for us to prioritize that too much at this point. Well, it looks like Eris is back. Oh, I think one of the patch notes was there will no longer be rubbish on the ground if Eris is not here in the crossroads, but obviously she is, so there is rubbish.
You know how come I'm really back, don't you, Trouble? Because things finally started getting interesting, but you're trying to put a stop to it.
I won't let you cast doubt on my task. Surely you've better uses of your energy than this, and throwing all your rubbish everywhere.
Right?
What would you even know? I have every right to be here, and you're never getting rid of me. And you're never getting rid of Kronos either. No going back to how things were.
Alright, I mean, you could maybe interpret that as her saying that she's on Kronos' side, but I think she's more so just a neutral agent of chaos.
We're going forward, not back.
But not in the fun way.
Come here.
Okay, we'll definitely want to chat with Hecate, although we should have a lot of things that we can do here. Okay, so we need... Thalamus is the plant that we get from Chaos. Then, once we give it enough time, we can pick it and get that item. And this is where we will get the... We should have enough to make this happen. It's just going to take a little bit of time to plant those. If we get more bronze, we can reveal the aspects within the silver pool that further empower each main weapon. This was the thing that Hecate alluded to at the end of that fight that I was saying could potentially be the most significant incantation of the entire game, probably with the exception of this. but it does require more bronze. We don't yet have enough to do it, so we'll want to head up to the surface. I think we want to head up to the surface for more bronze for one or two other things as well. So, and we need to kill a little bit of time to get this stuff to grow, so I think that's fine. Cattails we can plant more of as well. What is this? Whenever you claim rewards of ashes, you gain max life. Oh, this got added from this patch, and I think there's something similar for Psyche. You get maximum magic from Psyche, which I think is good because it's certainly still helpful to get those things for long-term crafting purposes, although for the current run they do nothing at all. So to at least get some small benefit, so they're not completely useless on the run you are acquiring them, I think that's a nice choice. And then it's armor in the case of bones. I think thematically that makes some sense, the way that they match those things up. So the cattails we should be able to get. Mandrake we've never seen, so that one we will have to hold out on. The fabric, we need one more of that? Okay, we might be able to buy that in that case. And several more things here. Wow. Whenever we claim a nectar reward, we get a palm. That's also something that's new to this patch. That's also going to require wool and garlic, which are difficult for us to get. What is this? Rite of river fording. Restore the crossroads fishing pier so that it may be used. Minimum of 2 guests. Minimum! Not maximum. Minimum of 2 guests at a time. Grants 1 twin lures, mostly used for communal visits to the crossroads fishing pier. We've not yet used the fishing rod at all, but this seems like it's more along the lines of the hot springs and the taverna, so it's just another way to spend time with some friends, and we can get more soil to plant even more seeds, which long-term could be very helpful, so I think that's definitely worth getting quite soon. And then summoning of personal insights. Persuade the record keeper to appear, from whom you may learn enlightening statistical details about our past runs, I suppose? Sure. Shade Rot is the plant from Tartarus, so that is rare. But we have enough of it and aren't really spending it on the regular, so I think we can still afford to do that, even if it isn't something that gives us a lot of direct benefit.
Listen to my heart's desire.
What else?
Record keeper, pleased to have you here.
Okay. Nice. Now let's chat.
You're back. Now tell me everything. You found your mark. What then?
I reached the edge of Tartarus and made my way into the house, just as we planned. Kronos was there, on my father's throne. We clashed. He lost. But I know he isn't gone, and I was unable to linger there for long.
Truly. And you retrieved something from him, I see. We were never going to destroy him with brute force alone, but soon enough, he may yet be undone entirely. Until then, study him. And I shall study what you found.
Okay. Interesting. So, I mean, Malinois said in passing how we weren't able to stay there for long, which we didn't really get an explanation for why that was the case, but that's something that, as I was alluding to before, I imagine will become clearer as additional updates are made and the game gets finalized. Otherwise, outside of that, what else was it that... There's something that Hecate mentioned that I wanted to analyze. Till then, study him... Wait. You retrieved something from him. Not entirely sure what exactly she's referring to, other than that one crafting material that we collected.
By study him, you mean find him again and fight him. Weaken him. Distract him.
Precisely that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, there's still more to chat with you about.
Oh, by the way, something awaits you in the training grounds. You proved beyond a doubt that you're prepared.
Oh?
Thank you, Headmistress.
I'm curious what that is. Okay, we certainly can use this. We have lots of Charon cards. We can get the Moon Dust, which I know getting 1 Fate Fabric unlocks an incantation, but I think we might just buy that.
Now we wait.
Directly, especially since we got a bunch of bones from completing many of those prophecies. What is this? This is Ambrosia is now an option to purchase, which is new resource. It's sort of like a well, in Hades 1 it was sort of like a super nectar, but in Hades 2 it seems like it's bath salts is to the hot springs as Ambrosia is to the taverna, if you know what I mean. And then there was another resource that was mentioned in one of the incantations that apparently would get used for the fishing pier. So it's just different ways to pass time with friends and build our relationships with them. I think it is probably worth picking this up because we have a ton of bones now.
This one.
Don't want to spend it mindlessly, but if it makes it possible for us to get this, which is expensive. That's a lot of fabric. Tears is the item from Cerberus, which, I mean, we have a lot of, but we're using a bunch of it there. And then wheat is the plant that we get it from the seeds that we sow that come from Fields of Mourning. So that's a long-term benefit type of thing.
To take away this pain that we may fight.
'Tis done.
Because that was what, the incantation that gives us extra armor when we pick up bones? Which could also be useful for when we have the Arachne keepsake and happen to lose all of our armor, as sometimes happens, and because at that point you're no longer able to regain armor. So sometimes you run into Arachne in Erebus and then you can reactivate the keepsake, but if that doesn't happen, or if you're on a totally different floor, then having another way to get the armor back by picking up bones would be helpful.
You got there.
What does Nemesis have to say now, huh?
Come here to gloat, I bet. I beat him. I beat the Titan. Well, hardly matters. He's still alive, you realize, don't you?
First of all, you said that, not me. Second of all, what else are we supposed to do? Our goal was to beat him, and we did. He's immortal, sure, but it's not like we were about to change that, nor was anything you were about to do going to change that.
I wasn't coming here to gloat, and yes, I realize. But this is still a step. If I could vanquish Kronos once, I can do it again. And one of these nights, he's not going to come back.
Yeah, because one of these nights I'll get my hands on him myself.
And somehow it'll be magically different when you fight him, relative to when we fight him. Alright, you're the one who seems awfully full of yourself if you think that's going to be the thing that makes the difference.
Then you can do the gloating, right?
What's up with all these little shades that we've seen floating around, not just here, but a little bit earlier as well? But no Odysseus. Yeah, we do have this is the key resource that we needed to harvest. We still need one more. Oh, it gives us two. Oh. Okay, that actually changes a lot then. I mean, we can plant more of it. Although, what was it? We needed more cattails, was one of the things.
Take all the time you need.
That we had a specific recipe for, so we should do that. I think it was only one that we needed, though. And then we did just spend a lot of wheat. We've 3 of these origin seeds. I feel like we just go all in on those. I mean, I still don't know if there's anything else in the immediate future that's going to require them, but we might as well. Okay, now...
Perhaps later.
Right. Doubt it's going to let us go in by ourselves there. We did defeat Kronos, so I'm kind of curious if that's going to affect Hypnos here. But apparently not. So at this point, I do not know what is ultimately going to be the thing that wakes up Hypnos, besides maybe he is asleep indefinitely right now, and only once they patch in additional content is he going to become someone you can actually speak to and interact with.
Moonlight guides you.
Okay, so we planted all that stuff. We did harvest something that allows us to do this, which is the thing we needed to be able to actually go to the surface. Again, it's not super clear if this is going to completely remove the damage over time that we take when we're on the surface, or if it's just going to make it significantly less, but still existent. It seems like it's still going to be there, it's just going to be much smaller.
Now, my blood is bound by fate, yet blood runs free. As it would spill upon the surface, I must be.
Yes.
Wouldn't be terribly surprised if Hecate
Let's try the surface one more time.
had something to say to us after doing that, but apparently not. And that also, just given all the things we've been doing, have expected us to have a prophecy to turn in after all that, but no, I think we're good on that account. I mean, we should probably pay a little visit to the Taverna now that that exists. And people may be populating it.
Hail, spirit mixer.
Oh, he's the spirit bartender. Okay, you are the new person who we just added. He's a shade with little glasses and is that a like parted hairdo and a tie? I love it.
Best to keep track of each detail.
Interesting. So it tells us how many times we've used the different weapons. The staff the most, given how that's a starting weapon. That doesn't surprise me too much. We know the axe we haven't used quite as much, and then the skull we only very recently used. Tells us how many times we've succeeded with each weapon, and well, it's only one, and it's with the flames. Then here, this how many times we've taken each individual boon, and far and away number one is the Demeter cast, because it's one of the easiest ways to apply freeze. It is not a coincidence. The blinding sprint surprises me a little bit. That is, now that I think of it, definitely the most common Apollo boon that we've gotten. Fixed gain. I don't even remember what that is, but it is Hephaestus, and it feels like it has been an eternity since we last saw much Hephaestus stuff happening. So that surprises me a bit. So, you know, I'm sure we could go in and analyze that and read into a whole bunch of things from it. What is this, though? I think these are different types of boons that are slightly different, like hammers and hexes, or hammers and Artemis, I think. I'm not sure if hexes are in here. Fish that we've caught, well, none, because we haven't used the fishing rod yet. How many times we've used each keepsake? Surprise, surprise. Silken Sash a whole bunch, Luckier Tooth a whole bunch. Moonbeam is more of a recent thing that we started to use a lot, but it has been quite effective for us as of late. And then pretty significant drop-off after, or at least the Adamant Shard, which is another one that we haven't used in a long time, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why we haven't seen much of Hephaestus as of late, but then the other stuff, big drop-off there. Okay. So that is interesting information. I'm not sure how much time we're really going to spend poring over every last detail of it, but, you know, especially as we, maybe once we start doing more runs, hopefully have some more successful runs, we can start to think a little more critically about what is and is not working well for us. Okay, but supposedly something has been added here, courtesy of Hecate. Oh, I know what that is. I do know what that is. We'll take a look at it in a second, but we do have a few things we can do here as well, because I believe we have enough to increase our grasp by 1, so let's do that. And now that means we have 1 grasp to spare. We could, oh no, we have already 2 things at 1 grasp, so we don't want to activate another, otherwise we deactivate this guy. For the 2 grasp category, yep, we have those. We already have 2 there. Then for 3, we have this, which, as we established, quite literally saved us the run. It was the difference between us winning or losing. So, not about to deactivate that. But we do not have a second thing that costs 3. Oh, we already have a 3. It's this. Oh, right, and we did learn more about this. This is something that I am kind of tempted to upgrade a little bit more, because it did seem pretty solid. We used it at the very beginning, to the point where I practically forgot about it. But, yeah, I'm not really sure in that case how best to make use of this specific grasp that we gained. It's actually, come to think of it, given where we stand right now, it is a little difficult to activate a bunch of Arcana and keep this active. So at a certain point we might need to ask ourselves, is this worth keeping on, or are we willing to sacrifice it in the name of getting some other stuff going? We did see, for the first time in the previous run, 2 duo boons show up, but we might have turned them both down because neither one was the right boon at the right time for us. Maybe that's a bit of an indication, but I think we might just go 1 grasp to spare at the moment. I'm not really seeing the best way to make use of that grasp right now. Although I would like to upgrade some of those things. That's perhaps something we'll do once we get the Charon shipment back in.
Anything that wasn't here before, young one? Your eyes do not deceive. Near the gateways out of here, you'll find none other than the Oath of the Unseen, I think it's called. Ask me not whence it came. Instead, ask just how tough you really are.
I earned the right to look upon the oath, the testaments of night. Do I dare speak the vows, and thereby spread the fear that darkness brings?
Come on, what are you, scared? Those nocturnal arms you got, they're probably gonna love that fear and testament type stuff. I say give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen?
All mortal kind condemned to never-ending torment and despair?
You know, the stakes are kind of high.
It's gonna be fine.
Don't worry about it, man. Alright, so this is the bonus bones weapon, so we'll probably look to take this. So what is this, you're asking yourself? I am almost certain this is the equivalent of heat in Hades 1.
In shadow I serve, to shadow I return.
Although, perhaps reworked a little bit for Hades 2, the Oath. Salutations. You are worthy of the Oath of the Unseen, and may now enact the Testaments of Night, if you dare. Thus it is done. Activate various vows to raise fear, a measure of adversity. Then pursue the marked Guardian using the specified weapon. Okay, the fear aspect, that sounds very similar to Hades 1, but the Guardian component seems like a slightly new wrinkle. Prevail and earn Nightmare for upgrades in the Silver Pool. Many vows can be intensified to raise fear even more, though you are also free to rescind any vows without consequence. Your continued service to the realm is appreciated either way. Hint: enact available testaments to reveal more. If one proves to be a struggle, you may switch weapons to attempt another. So basically, let's take a look here at exactly how this is going to work. What happens is, how do I deactivate? So what happens is, at the moment, by default, none of these things are active. You'll see all these things say inactive on them. But what we can do is we click on this, we can have all foes, in this case, deal plus 20% damage. And in return, we get +1 of this fear. We can bump this up even more to give them even more bonus damage, increase the fear even more, and you can see there's a bit of a bar that, if we continue to just load on all these things, the bar is going to keep on filling, and it has a 5 next to that purple skull is the indication for what the total value is. Oops, I did not mean to do it that way. I meant to deactivate that. But, so you could, if you wanted to, load on just a ridiculous number of these things and get that bar very, very full. I'm not even reading what all these things are, but point being, you then make the game significantly more difficult. Foes deal way more damage, foes have much more health, foes have a barrier that makes them ignore 1, or in this case 2 instances of damage, which we have actually seen in the Kronos fight from the little banners that he creates. All foes are much faster. In each encounter, we take way more damage the first time we're hit. All these various different types of difficulty modifiers you can voluntarily add. We don't have to include these, but if we do, then it gives us bonuses. And we can use those bonuses to get some upgrades. They suggested that it's a specific thing that we've not quite unlocked yet, but it's something that we saw at the Cauldron that we just need a few more resources before we can do, and it is the other thing that I was saying I expect to be the next biggest incantation, perhaps only after the one that allows us to more reliably go to the surface. So that's something we'll want to keep an eye out in the coming runs. Now, I'm not really sure we're looking to amp up the difficulty right now, because I think we still want to more consistently feel like we can defeat Kronos without any additional difficulty modifiers. Then once we do start doing that more consistently and comfortably, that's where you start to layer on the extra layers of difficulty, get more rewards from it, and still feel like you're at the right level to continue to stay engaged and not get bored with those types of encounters. So there's all that stuff and much more, because we just unlocked a bazillion different things at the end of this run, because it was our first successful run. But I do think this is a good place for us to wrap up here, because many of these things we can of course circle back to as we look to start our next run. But thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.